Welcome back to World Insight, and let's start you off with a date for the history books, because August 18th, 2009 will be long remembered by many South Koreans. That's the day their former president Kim Dae-Jung died at the age of 85. Sunday is his state funeral. Kim was an extraordinary figure in South Korea's modern history. He won international acclaim for his pursuit of reunification with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and his sunshine policy, well, that continues to have great influence on the Korean peninsula despite the current standoff.
A sad moment for many South Koreans. It's time to say farewell to former President Kim Dae-Jung. An outpouring of condolences came from throughout the country and the world.
I feel very sorry. I think a victory of our country has fallen. He's been my long competitor and friend, so I'm very sad by the fact he's passed away.
South Koreans, regardless of their political persuasion, felt the loss.
I feel very depressed. He built South Korea's democracy. I've heard this news just now. I feel really terrible.
I think he was blessed to live for 85 years and die peacefully. But as a Korean, it is really sad that we lost a competent leader, and I feel worried about where this country will go.
Kim, popularly known by his initials DJ, spent his early years on a small island called Hawaii, the son of an unwed mother. He did not go to college, but worked at a shipping company to support his family. He was later drawn to politics and won a seat in South Korea's parliament, the National Assembly, in 1961. It was the start of his struggle against the country's authoritarian military rule. His challenge led to his abduction by South Korean secret agents in a Tokyo hotel in 1973. Though later saved by U.S. intelligence, he was placed under house arrest. In the following years, Kim emerged as one of the most fervent proponents of democracy. His political views led him to 6 years in prison, 3 years of exile, and 10 years under house arrest and surveillance. In December 1997, Kim was elected president. The victory marked South Korea's first power shift from a ruling party to the opposition. As president, Kim worked to diminish the power of the family-owned conglomerates. He won praise for working with international financial institutions to steer South Korea through the 1997 economic crisis. Yet his administration and his immediate family was also hit by scandal. Kim's government was suspected of sending huge sums of money to the DPRK to secure the summit with the DPRK leader Kim Jong-il. 2 of his sons were jailed in 2002 in bribery scandals involving 84 billion won in payment for influence. Kim described the bribery affair as the biggest misfortune of my life. Internationally, Kim will probably be best remembered for his historic handshake with the DPRK leader Kim Jong-il in June 2000. It was the first summit between the leaders of the two countries on the divided peninsula. The meeting was the culmination of the sunshine policy and led to an unprecedented thaw in relations. 6 months later, Kim won the Nobel Peace Prize for promoting democracy and inter-Korean reconciliation. Under the sunshine policy, the two sides connected roads and railways across their shared border. They built an industrial park. And aging Koreans separated by the war half a century ago enjoyed temporary family reunions. Kim believed dialogue is better than confrontation.
The DPRK's nuclear ambition has to come to an end. That way we must resolve this peacefully through dialogue.
Kim Dae-Jung's successor, No Mo-hyun, maintained the sunshine policy. No also paid an official visit to the DPRK during his presidency. But in Kim's final year, he saw his sunshine policy efforts unravel as relations with Pyongyang headed back into the freezer. Relations have continued to sour since the current president, Lee Myung-bak, angered the North by cutting off a steady flow of aid that started with the 2000 summit. This week, a South Korea-U.S. joint military exercise further infuriated Pyongyang.
The maneuvers for nuclear war projected by the U.S. imperialists and the Lee Myung-bak group of traitors are by no means a demonstration of military muscle of a defensive nature.
In his last public appearance at No Mo-hyun's funeral, Kim Dae-Jung criticized Lee Myung-bak's policy.
I, Kim Dae-Jung and No Mo-hyun have created a peacemaking and cooperative nation during the last 10 years to create an era in which our people can feel safe and relaxed. Suddenly now we are in this most tense atmosphere.
Analysts say Kim's death could briefly help ease tensions between the Koreas. DPRK leader Kim Jong-il sent condolences to Kim Dae-Jung's family. The feats he performed to achieve national reconciliation and realize the desire for reunification will remain long with the nation. The DPRK also sent a condolence delegation to Seoul. And Pyongyang announced it would end all transport restrictions it had placed on their shared border since last December. Kim Dae-Jung's sunshine policy is not endorsed by all South Koreans. Some view the policy as naive and, at worst, aiding the DPRK's nuclear program. But analysts say at the time of Kim's death, many South Koreans echoed his sentiment for renewed dialogue with the DPRK. When the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon paid tribute to Kim Dae-Jung, he encouraged Koreans to carry on Kim's spirit.
I hope peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula, national unity, and political and social development, which he had pursued through his entire life, will be accomplished by all of you.
The political life of Kim Dae-Jung was extraordinary. He became the man who brought the dream of reunification ever closer to reality. And his resolve remains a political legacy for both sides of the Korean Peninsula.
Well, in one of his last interviews in June, Kim Dae-Jung voiced his belief that a deal could be reached that would lead to the DPRK giving up its nuclear weapons. His optimism reflects his hope for the future on the peninsula, and perhaps the best way to remember him is to help achieve that goal. Kim Dae-Jung dead at the age of 85. With that, we come to the end of this program. As always, we'd love to hear from you, so send in your questions, your comments and your suggestions. You can do that by sending us an email at worldinsight@cctv.com. I'm James Chow in Beijing on behalf of me and my team. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again.